And I just clicked this on to record.
Sweet.
So that way we can go back to it, or if we didn't quite get it, we can go back to it.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to just go ahead and start, or Ellen, do you want to ask?
Nope, I think what we're gonna have you do is you start, and then at the end, we'll have the last part. If anybody has any questions or any other topics that they want to talk about, we can go over them.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys. So essentially, what we're looking at right now is kind of putting together the way that we're looking at command right now, right? So if we logged in right now, it's kind of not working completely together, right? You're kind of attached in some areas of command, but not completely attached as a team. So what we're kind of moving towards is a way for us to log into a database that's going to go directly into a team, right? So this is going to allow us to kind of work better as a team inside the system. The first iteration is what we're going to see coming Mega Camp. And that's going to allow us to put all of our contacts in the same place, as well as run the same smart plans for our team, right? Going on from there, we'll be able to run the same campaigns, to do the same, basically every applet inside of command is going to get kind of built out for teams. This is going to work a lot better for teams, and kind of it's going to allow everyone as admins to go in and to actually be able to work on everything across the board. Because what we found is that a lot of times, if we had agents who were member agents on a team and they were creating contacts and switching the ownership from the member agent to the team, it wasn't working properly. And part of that was because we didn't have this new team system put in place, right? So this is going to kind of solve a lot of those problems that we've seen with contact ownership and working on it, view only, all that different type of stuff. This is really going to allow us to kind of go through and just kind of clean this stuff up and get it running the way that we all have wanted to, right? A lot of these updates have come straight out of our labs process. So these are the updates that people have been asking for a long time. Just to touch on them, let me pull up my slides real quick. And so essentially what we're looking at is to put everything into one area, okay? So the first thing that's going to come with that is the ability to either turn on or off someone's personal command. And what that means, and I don't want to scare anybody by what that means. Yeah, Chris?
Are you going to share the slides with us?
Yep, I will. I just want to, I'm bringing them up right now.
Okay, sorry.
Yep, not a problem. So essentially what we're looking at is we want to create a whole command just for the team, right? So you will have the decision to turn off any of those member agents' personal command, or essentially to allow them to work straight out of the team command, okay? So the difference between that essentially is the ability for us to work solely out of one command system, or to be able to work with maybe people that are in your own database. So let me pull up this slide deck right here. Make sure I get the right one. Okay. All right. So you guys have any questions about kind of the beginning parts of this and how it's kind of moving while I bring these up? Computer's just loading a little slow right now. Okay. Okay, so this is the actual slides for this week. So we're going to roll right through these. So this, what we're looking at right here, is our slide deck that we use as RTTs to kind of make sure that we're following this whole thing through the right way. So I'm going to cover right out of the slides for the new team updates. Let me get right to these team updates. So what we're looking at is essentially the ability for us to all work on the same team. So what we want to look at are first what we're going to see, right? So the ability for us to kind of bring our business into one area. So the ability for us to separate personal database and team database and kind of how that's going to work, right? So the way that we're thinking on this right now is if we have things set up for the team database and you have people in your own database. So the thought process is if I have a buyer's agent on my team, do I want them to work solely out of a team database or do I want them to have their own database alongside of that, right? So that's kind of where our mind is going with this. So we're going to have two options with this, all right? You're going to be able to turn on and off personal orgs for different agents, okay? So if it's somebody who's just starting out in real estate and they're just joining with the team, you're going to be working all team-owned leads, then you can turn off their personal org. They'll be able to use all the team systems and models with all the contacts that they would be working with, okay? So what this is going to do is to allow them to actually use all of those systems and models that the team has set up. All right. So if it's somebody that's in the personal org, which essentially means that's in the personal command, which is what we're looking at right now, they're going to be able to use all their personal stuff. If it's in the team org or in the new command, in the new team command, they're going to be able to use everything that's set up by the team. All right. And for right now, that is all the contact management and all the smart plans. Right. So what that's going to allow us to do is when we have new people coming into the team, whether it's through Facebook campaigns or wherever source it's coming from, the way that it's going to flow in, it's going to be owned by the team and then assigned out to all the agents underneath them. Okay, so it's going to work a lot easier, especially for, I would say the majority of teams that we work with, what they're finding is if an agent on the team is setting up a campaign, all those contacts coming in are owned by that agent and the admins on the team aren't able to work with those contacts as easily, right? So what we want to do is have the ability for those to flow into the team command so that the admins can then go and work with that team. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah, okay, great. So essentially what we're seeing on this, now the first thing that's going to be an update is we're switching that little toggle that we see to this drop-down list here, okay? So the toggle to select a team is going to be inside of the drop-down list, and you can actually set up what the default is going to be for your team. So as you log into command, what are you going to see? If you have your personal set up still, it'll log you either into the personal or the team based on what preference you have. So you can shut off the personal and just work straight out of the team if you choose to. And as rainmakers, a lot of times that's what people will choose to do just because it'll be everything that you're working with anyways. It'll just be underneath the team. So it's kind of the same way as we thought of the opportunity pipeline. So entering permissions for opportunities. So if we click on that no, that other agents can't create opportunities outside the pipeline, think of that as contacts now, right? So if we're saying no, it's meaning they can't create contacts with outside the team, okay? So everything that they import into the team and every member agent, if you choose to turn off this org, we're gonna save all those contacts in a frozen state. And what that means is as they're updated inside the team org, all of the core information will be updated inside of that frozen state. So if that person ever chooses to leave the team, they'll be able to walk right back into that business that they already had set up with all the right tags, everything that they need on that contact, and they'll be able to run from with there. So essentially, it'll put all of the core information on it. Core information, I believe, is on. I don't see our core information slide right here. Let's go back right here. So core information will remain: email address, phone numbers, timeline events, things like that. Non-core data, the tags, custom field sources would be removed from those contacts, but they'll be saved inside of what we call a legacy tag right now. We actually have to develop a new code because we want all of these tags and all of this information that we're going to be taking off to be saved inside the contact record, inside the notes at least, because once we save it in there, then we can at least see what's going on with that contact. So as they migrate over into the team command, it will remove a lot of that stuff from those contacts. Now, if you keep your personal org on, you'll be able to keep all that stuff the way it is right now, right? So it's just looking at it in the team database. That'll be a little bit different. All right. So they'll maintain ownership of those contacts, but underneath the team org. So this will be anybody that turns off that personal org. They'll actually have that team org. Everything will be underneath there. and they'll still own the contacts. They'll still be able to do anything they need with that contact. But it's just the ability for us to, as admins, to go in and set them up on smart plans, to create the opportunity, to create all that different type of stuff that we want to do on the back end that a lot of times the agents don't want to do themselves. That's what we can go back and help them with. It just allows us to kind of work with all the contacts that are with the team. So we'll be able to use team tags, sources, custom fields. So we'll be all on the same page with our tagging system, with our custom fields, sources, all that different type of stuff. Timeline history will carry over with the contact. So everything that you've done in contact history so far, so the timeline that we see, so all the properties they've been looking at, all the calls you've made, all the activities you've logged in, that will stay as it moves over. And we'll be able to see agent owned and team assigned contacts, right? So the way that the permission levels are working, and I'll go to my test account to show you guys this, is that this is inside of a test account, our RTT Rainmaker account. So this is the actual team management page. So this page right here, you guys, all team members, this page right here, you guys may have seen, there's some new stuff on here with permissions over here on this side, as well as personal command. And this is what the screen is actually going to look like going into it, right? So the best thing I can recommend is to have this conversation with the people on your team to know whether or not they're going to turn on or off that personal org, okay, that personal command. Now, what that simply means is, are we going to allow them to have the contacts in their own database that they can work with on their own, or do we want them to use the team models and systems, right? So if you allow people to do transactions outside of the team, then it may be in their interest to keep that personal command on. If you want everybody to work straight out of the team, then it may be in your best interest to turn that personal command off. Okay. And really what that's going to do is essentially change the ability from them to use their own personal stuff and customize everything to using the team stuff that is customized by the team and that the admins can set up and kind of keep it all cohesive throughout that whole process. Does that make sense to you guys? Does anybody have any questions about turning that on and off? Because I know it's kind of tricky talking about that. No? Okay. All right, so going on from here, we have team permissions. And what these team permissions are going to allow us to do is to actually set people up with either unlimited, enhanced, or standard. Okay. And what this does for us is allows us to say, okay, if you're an unlimited person, you essentially are set up as a rainmaker inside the system. If you're enhanced, you're set up as an admin inside the system. The only difference between enhanced and unlimited is the ability to hard delete contacts and to export contacts out of the team database. Okay. As a standard permission level, you're essentially set up as an agent. So you would be able to work with anybody who's assigned to you or anybody that you own. Now, if we want to get a full breakdown of this, we can click on this button here. And this is going to go out to everybody during this update. So this is the exact screen that you guys are going to be seeing. And this really breaks down kind of how this is going to work through the system. So to manage the permissions, it's going to be unlimited. To turn on and off individual command accounts, it's going to be unlimited. All this stuff under team management. So request team updates from the market center. So that's if we want to either remove someone from the team or ask to add another agent to the team. Add, delete guest users or admins. So essentially the accounts that we create as guest users, we have the ability to add or delete those through there as well. Set contact, default owner, and assignees. So they'll be able to actually switch out who's going to be the owner and assignee on those contacts, and configure lead routing as well. So with contacts, everybody will be able to view the lead pool. Everybody will be able to view all contacts except for the standard. The standard is only going to see the contacts that are assigned to them and that they own. Okay, so they're not going to see the entire team database. They'll be able to view their names, I believe, and their phone numbers, but I don't believe that they're going to actually be able to edit them and kind of see inside the contact details. All right, and that simply is because we want the ability for this to stay with the person who's actually working on that contact, right? We don't want a big team for people to be able to go into the database and start taking people from other team members, right? We will have the ability to assign more than one person to a contact going forward. I don't have the actual limit as of yet, but one will be set up as a primary. And essentially the thought process behind that is if you're working buyer's agent and you have a showing assistant, you both need to be on that contact. Or if they have a listing and they're also buying a house as well, you can assign both that listing and buyer's agent to that contact. So going on from this, going into kind of marking the contact as a lead, changing contact owner, all this editing contacts, all that type of stuff is going to be by Enhance or Unlimited. Again, with standard, really all you're going to be able to do is to add, import, and edit your own contacts that you have inside the system. Okay, so it's really just going to be ones that are assigned to you and ones that you own. Okay, so if you have your personal command turned off and you're importing people into the team database, what that's going to do is set the team as the owner, and it's going to assign you as the assignee on that contact. Okay, so everybody that you import from then on is going to be assigned to you, but it's going to be owned by the team. Okay. Archiving contact is Enhance and Unlimited, and then deleting the archive contacts and export contacts, like we said, is only Unlimited. Okay. And now with the team members contacts, all right, so to be able to view the team members contacts, it'll be Enhanced and Unlimited. All right, so you'll be able to see inside of them. You can't change the team member's contact owner. So if the team member owns that contact, the Rainmaker cannot go in and switch that contact ownership, okay? Because it's one that they own and it's inside of their database. Even if they have their personal command turned off, what that will do is allow them, once they leave, they'll get that contact back, okay? So essentially the way that they have it right now is set up so that you're gonna be able to manage any contact that you own or you're assigned to. Edit team members contact info, the Enhanced and Unlimited will be able to do that. Mark team members contact as a lead, nurture team members contact, message team members contact, share team members contact, they won't be able to do, archive it, delete it, export team members contact, okay? It's really just trying to set these databases apart and also bring them together at the same time. Now with smart plans, this is actually very exciting because we're actually going to be able to allow agents to pick which steps of smart plans is going to be coming from them. Okay, so you can set up defaults inside the system so that every email, for instance, comes from the Rainmaker, or every text message comes from that Rainmaker. You can also set up the assigned contact, E, I believe, or assignee on the contact. That's the right language there. So essentially you can set it up so that who is this going to come from? So if it's working with a buyer's agent on the team, you can set up the text to come from the buyer's agent and the emails to come from the Rainmaker. You can actually set these up individually on the steps, and you can set up defaults as well. So to view smart plans, everybody can do that, all the permission levels. To change the owner of that smart plan is only going to be the owner of that smart plan who's going to change that. To edit a smart plan is going to be the Enhanced and Unlimited. Okay, so essentially the way this is going to work is that anybody that's a standard permission is simply just going to be able to assign people to a smart plan. Okay, the admin and the Rainmaker are going to be the ones to set up the entire smart plan. So to edit it, to make sure that it's the way that the team wants to run it, and then people can add it to it, and then they'll still get all of the different steps and tasks and all that type of stuff that they'll be able to see. Simply what that means is just they'll be able to add to it and use it, but they won't be able to create it. All right, so same thing with deleting smart plans, add contacts to team smart plan, add contacts to a personal smart plan. So this is important right here to know that if you have the personal org turned on, then if you're adding people inside of that org to smart plans, it's not the same thing as the team, okay? So essentially what you can set up is the ability to have both the team and the personal org running smart plans at the same time. Now, where that gets a little bit tricky is if you're running the same smart plans as the same people, right? Because every contact that's inside the personal org will surface inside of the team command. So they're able to be worked by the team admins and such. So it's just going to be a little bit of communication to make sure that this person isn't on dual smart plans that are saying the same thing, right? So going from this, viewing contacts on the smart plan, you'll be able to see that, sharing smart plans, copy smart plans, create smart plans, add KWR smart plan to the library, publish a smart plan to the KW library, and download a smart plan from KW library to the team tab. So there's a lot of different things that are coming with these permissions, and essentially it's all going to be laid out in front of us on this type of a sheet. And as we get more permissions, we're just going to keep adding on to the sheet. Okay, so once it comes into, we're adding things on for, let's say, opportunities get to rework, campaigns get to rework, designs is definitely one of the next ones that's going to get a rework, so that we can use all the same designs on the team. Consumer at some point will get a rework as well, so it'll be a team consumer. So the way we're moving with this and what this sets us up to do is to really truly work as a team inside of the system. But really what we want to do to prepare for this is, first, as always, we want to make sure we go through our database and scrub it, right? So we want to make sure that we have the contacts that we need in there. We want to make sure that the ownership is set up the right way. We want to make sure that we have the right tags on those people inside that database. All right. So when this switch actually takes place, it's going to remove the tags from those contacts, but we'll be able to save them inside of the contact record. Okay. So we haven't gotten to the point to where we're testing how we're really going through and scrubbing this and putting this back together. A thought process that we have right now is to set up PySync to Google Contacts if you have not done so already. And all this takes is to simply set the Rainmakers account up as syncing with Google Contacts. Once it rotates to the new command database, it'll sync with Google Contacts and kind of update all the tags and all that type of stuff. So it should work properly doing it that way as well. But what we're looking for right now is kind of what the idea is going to be for kind of replacing all these tags and getting them back up and running. We have, today is the 28th of August, so we're looking for this solution within the next week so that we make sure that we have it out to everybody and everybody knows exactly the best way to do this. Right now we're kind of workshopping a few different ideas because we're still in development of the system. So we're writing in new code, all that type of stuff. So when this releases, it'll be the easiest way possible and you guys will know exactly what to do. And of course, I'm always available to help anybody with any of this type of stuff, as well as Ellen, Chris, anybody else who was on the call. I would be more than happy to help anybody with this stuff as we're moving towards it. All right. So essentially right now, we want to make sure that we have our tag set up on our contacts. We have all the things that we need for those specific contacts, and then have that conversation with the team members to make sure that they're aware that when we make this switch, they may not have a personal command going forward. So what is going to change is this little select team button right here. This will go away. This will be housed inside of this drop-down list. All right. So what that means is essentially you'll be logging directly into one of those orgs right there. All right, guys. Do we have any questions about kind of how the system is going to work or what we're looking at? Does it make sense to all you? You got any? Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
You said mid-September. It looks like this will all be available, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a mega camp release.
Okay, so it'll come out during that.
So there'll be a lot of instruction on this at mega camp as well. Not only this, but a lot of other things that are going to get released at mega camp. There's an awesome design editor as well for emails. So if you guys haven't seen that as of yet, I got sirens driving by me right now. But if you haven't seen the email editor, it's, I believe Priscilla Monroe posted a video of it in KW Command Facebook group. So you can kind of see how that's going to look. And it's going to allow us to actually create those beautiful marketing emails that we want to put into our campaigns and into our smart plans and all that type of stuff, put images in, put links in, all that different type of stuff that we need to do inside of our emails to really make them effective. That is coming at MegaCamp, as well as the Smart Plans library. So if you guys haven't seen the Smart Plans library yet, this is a little sneak peek for you. So simply when we're inside of Smart Plans, when we click on library, the same way that you guys have it right now, not only will there be Keller Williams smart plans, but there will also be smart plans from people from all across the company, right? So we have our top rated smart plans right here. Jump around on me. All right. So we have our top rated smart plans right here. What's new smart plans, all different types of smart plans inside of here. Most of these created right now are from labs advisors and regional technology trainers because they were the people inside of the lab. But you can look at, for example, if anybody follows Marty Miller's in his 66-day challenge, he put his entire smart plan inside of this library. So simply we can click to view the steps here and see exactly what the different steps are going to be and how it kind of flows through, what the timeline is going to be, all that type of stuff. If we want to add the smart plan, we can click add smart plan here. And then it's going to ask us to make sure that we have downloaded any smart plan that this is going to go off to, right? So this is a huge ability for us to be able to share smart plans across the entire company, right? Now, the next thing we're moving towards after this, and I would guess would be either by the end of the year this year or by family reunion, would be automatic triggers on our smart plans. I've actually been in a few labs right now to kind of work around what the idea of an automatic trigger is going to be and then what's actually going to be firing that trigger. So once we have all the smart plans set up, we're going to be able to put people on them automatically, and it's going to send out and it's going to go kind of just follow those steps right through. All right. Does anybody have any questions about smart plans in the library? No? Okay.
I have a question about the smart plans.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's any way to put a link into the text message so they can just click the link from the text message, or is that not a thing yet?
I'm not sure. I know there is for email. So let's just run through it right now and make sure.
Yeah, because I went to go, because we're setting up a smart plan for like getting our reviews and stuff like that. And we just want to be able to send them a text. They click here to write the review. But when I set it up, it wasn't working. So I didn't know if that was like something that would be coming, or if
I'm
there's
sure
a way
it will
to
be
do
if it's
it.
not right now, because we're actually also working towards a whole new editing ability with Twilio, or not editing ability, but a whole new workflow with Twilio. So Twilio is going to be more imported inside of Command the same way that when you use Facebook to post campaigns, it's going to work a lot like that. So right now, I don't see it on there, but if we just type the link out, does that not work when it gets sent?
No, it didn't work, because I put myself on the smart plan, obviously, first to make sure it worked, and it didn't come through as a link. It just said, click this link instead of like clicking the link.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'll tell you what I'm going to do from this. I am going to post this in our super user ideas to make sure that this functionality works. And I will talk with my RSC to kind of figure out what, because it may be a little bit of code or something that we might have to like just kind of rework inside of there. When you put that link in there, what did you have, like the HTTPS? Like
no, I had it, I turned it to a bit.ly and then put it in as a bit.ly.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll definitely do some testing on that, and I will figure out exactly what the best way to do link inside of that text messaging is, and I'll be sure to get that back to you.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I'm sure you guys have some questions about something command related, if it may not be this new update that we're getting. So please feel free to ask me any questions you guys have.
Is there a place to get like paid smart plans? Like I know some teams are creating like advanced smart plans. Where is that?
So right now for version 1, they're all free. Okay, so they're going to be published, but they're going to be published into this library. For version 2, version 3, they may be paid, and those will probably come through the marketplace. So this little icon up here. All right. But for right now, they're all going to be free smart plans. The only way they would be paid smart plans is if they were on a different site than Command, right? So essentially, if they set up all the workflow for it, set it up in a Word document so it was able to copy and paste, and then we're selling that off.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, so for right now, guys, we're really literally going to get this within the next 2 weeks. All right. So a lot of this stuff we're going to see right within the next 2 weeks. And let me go back to the slides as well. just to make sure I didn't miss anything on the stuff. No. All right. Do you guys want to cover the actual scenarios as well? Here, let me read right through these so you guys know exactly what we're looking at for the different scenarios for turning on and off the different personal commands. So all core information will remain, all non-core data will be removed. It will maintain ownership of these contacts, but under the team org, we'll only be able to apply team tags, sources, custom fields. Timeline history will carry over. We'll be able to see agent owned and team assigned contacts, right? So that's if they don't have a personal command. Now, if they do, in the personal command instance, they will have unlimited permissions. They will be by default. It will be the default upon login, but they will be able to switch that to the team if they choose to, and only see contacts that they own and can use personal tags, sources, and custom fields. In the team contact and the team command, the agent owned contact will be view only, and their non-core will show the custom tags, sources, and fields. If they want to assign those contacts to a team smart plan, they will need to change ownership or turn off the personal command. Okay, so we'll be able to see assigned contacts. So that looks like that's a new update since the last time we've been briefed on this stuff. So the team smart plans will take kind of backseat to the personal command smart plans. All right, so that way we kind of control it to make sure that they're not firing off at the same time. So that's a little update we've got. So essentially, if they have the personal turned on, that means they're working that themselves, right? Not necessarily working them as a team, right? So this may be advantageous for example, for like a married couple team, right? So that they're working everything in the team, but they also can reply to them and work everything in personal as well, right? So there's a lot of different scenarios that'll be coming with this as well. Oh, and another page, which you didn't touch on, is the team stats page. So we're getting actually a lead routing update. So this is going to help us with round robin and assigned to agent new lead strategies that are coming in. So what round robin is truly going to be a round robin so that we can send leads to agents in an ordered list. If the agent doesn't claim it, it's going to go on to the next agent in that list. All right. Then assigned to agent is setting up a lead route so every lead that comes in from that source automatically gets assigned to that agent. Lead sources is going to get cleaned up, and we're going to have the ability to use custom team sources with lead routes. So this is going to allow us to have all the custom sources and all that type of stuff going forward. And then the new team stats page is pretty cool because this is going to allow us to see insights into how quickly people are talking with people, how quickly they are actually going through the system and going into appointments, going into close, any of those different metrics that we have, we'll be able to see right here on this team stats page, okay? So this is the same team stats page that we know right now, right next to lead routing. That is just gonna get an update overnight and we'll be able to see this. So we're gonna be able to set lead limits on contacts or on agents, as well as pause them, pause the route like we can right now. But we'll be able to see who's claiming stuff, how many leads they've gotten, how quickly they're claiming them, what their speed to lead is, all that different type of stuff. It's just going to give us some more insight on the lead routes, making sure our agents are getting to them.
Now for the turning on and turning off the database,
Yep.
is there going to be a duplicate button or a merge button in case that was already in their sphere, but we had, or in our agents, but the team leader had given it to them so we can merge the contact together? Or
so we're looking into a merge contact, but right now it's going to create a duplicate, I believe. And the simple reason for that is because we don't want to lose any of the timeline history on those people. But there definitely is going to be a way for us to be able to search them and make sure that we can clear all those out. But we don't want to lose anything that we don't have to lose, right? So we want to make sure that we at least, really more for safety than anything else, so that we're not losing any information that we may need and can't recover.
okay.
All right. Does anybody have any questions?
Nick, will you be able to send us or just send me these slides and then I can get them out to everybody? Is that possible?
Yeah, so I will send you some stuff on these. I won't send you this exact slide deck because this is the RTT slide deck, so there's a bunch
Okay.
in this. But yes, I can definitely send you some of these slides so that you can let people know about this for sure.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll pass them on to everybody.
Yeah, and I'll be holding trainings before, after, all this type of stuff so that we can make sure that everybody understands. I'll do one-on-ones, group trainings like this, anything that anybody needs. If you guys don't have my Calendly link as of yet, I'll put it in the chat right now. There we go. I don't know if I can get to the chat until I stop sharing my screen. Where is it? There it is. Got it. All right. So it's just Calendly.com/Nick Javera. All right, so there's my calendar right there. So if anybody needs to get on my calendar, put that link in right there and you can get right to it. All right, you can schedule anytime that you need. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Do we have any more questions, guys? Anything that you guys just want to talk about, or anything command based? It doesn't have to be team related, anything that you guys need.
I have one about the referrals.
Yep.
So if we do a referral through command, our back office requires like the referral form. Is there any way that we're going to be able to fill out the referral form through command instead of having like their 1099 or whatever, or their W-2 sent over to make sure their correct brokerage is attached and all that?
Yeah, I would say that's definitely on the roadmap. What we're looking for with documents as a whole is to have that inside of command. Okay. So at some point in the future, we won't have to log out and go to either .loop, DocuSign, wherever it may take you. You'll be able to do everything right inside of command documents. So you'll be able to import all that stuff into there and have that signed that way.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Guys, also, I'll touch on the Twilio integration as well, just so you guys are aware what that's going to look like. So command with the Twilio integration, simply what that allows us to do is to have more leverage over the features and stuff that we're getting from Twilio. So instead of us individually going and signing up on Twilio, we're all going to sign up through command to Twilio. So command will, or Keller Williams essentially will have a master account. We'll have sub accounts underneath Keller Williams. That allows us to get that leverage the same way that we have it with Facebook. And it really allows us to just kind of get better prices, ability to select the actual number that we want when we're logging on or signing up for it. And it's going to allow us to integrate it more inside of command. So the way that we're looking at it right now for credits is essentially, I'll go ahead and present this as well. The way that this works for credits is a regular text message is 1 credit, international message is 2 credit, and MMS is 3 credits. All right. So we'll actually be able to send messages with pictures in it and stuff like that. So a 5 megabit attachment as well. So that is coming again. This may come a little bit sooner. This may be 9/8 is what we were targeting for this. So it might be like about a week before MegaCamp. So this is a release to definitely look forward to, because this is just going to allow us to kind of leverage this a lot better. So this is what the pricing is going to look like. So it's going to be essentially a monthly subscription, but the credits are going to roll over every month. So if you signed up for 1,500 credits for 1 month and then go back to 300 credits, you'll have 1,800 credits if you didn't use any, right? So they'll keep for an entire year, all right? So after a year, those ones will expire out. But until we get to that point, you'll just keep banking credits as you go through. All right. So this is the exact screen that you're going to see inside the marketplace. So signing up for credits and all that type of stuff, you'll do right inside the marketplace. We will have a complete workflow for this going forward. For right now, it's still being developed. So what I will do is make sure that everybody is aware of the page on answers.kw.com. And if you guys don't use answers.kw.com yet, please start, because it is one of the best resources that we have for anything Keller Williams command related. Okay. That is literally where Paul Polanski, who is my kind of go-to guy on all of our tech stuff, he's the one that puts together these slides for us. He writes all of those articles. I think it's him and one other person that writes all those articles. So you're getting it straight from the source there. You're also able to submit requests through there as well. So in the top right corner, if you click submit request, that goes straight to the support team. All right. So that's a little bit more effective than going through the chat or just leaving a message. Okay. Because that allows you to also get a little bit more information in there and you can kind of see what they're looking for as you're importing that in. All right. So from this with a Twilio integration, so just be aware of this, guys. If you have smart plans that are using Twilio, when this comes out, you're going to have to go through it and make sure that you're signed up by either importing the number that you're currently using or signing up for a new number. Okay. So it's going to be one or two things, just bringing those things together. And then from that, you'll be good to go. All right. Just make sure on that day one that you set that up, because the smart plans will not be firing those text messages when this switch happens, because it's going to make everybody sign back in to their Twilio account. Okay.
Is there a way to use like a legit, like my phone number? Or is it gonna have
Not
to be?
yet. We don't have masking capabilities yet, but that is something that we're definitely looking into. And that's simply the reason why we're doing the switch with the way that we're working with Twilio, because then we can leverage that and say, hey,
Right.
we got 100,000 customers that want this feature. Can we please create this for us?
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely, I know it's a feature through Twilio. So I would say it's definitely on the roadmap. As well as you being able to call that number and leave a voicemail and stuff like that. So that's also on the roadmap. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, do we have any other questions or anything I can help you guys with? No? How do you guys feel about the new integration with the team command? Do you think it's going to be beneficial?
For me, I think it will be. My team doesn't really use it a lot. I'm the only one who really uses the command, but I think once it flows a little bit easier, they'll have much more accepting to actually going in and using it at that point.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think right now is the reason that most people are kind of staying away from it then?
Because it constantly changes and it's not completely done yet.
Okay.
That's for my team at least.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Absolutely. And that's, I think this is going to be a great step in the right direction, because this is, so where we've gone for the last like year or so is we were trying to get out as many features as we could. And that was kind of the mindset, was develop. And now we're taking a step back and making sure that everything is as reliable as it possibly can be.
Right.
So any of those glitches, any of that type of stuff, we've actually are starting to build in software on the back end so that we can detect when outages happen or when things are going wrong before anybody notices. We'll be able to have some internal code so that we can actually see what's going on before anybody has to say anything.
Before anybody freaks out on you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Before it starts going into Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you guys, you know, the admins are the ones that are going to be leading your teams into this. That's one of the reasons that we decided to have Nick come in on and talk to you about, you know, what are the new features that are coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really, most of this is to make your lives easier, right? So that you don't have to track down 15 different passwords to go into all your different agents' commands and edit their contacts, put them on smart plans, do all that type of stuff. So you can run it all at one place instead of having to go from all over. And the admin capability to actually use that guest user account is super great, because that allows you to have basically all the access that you would need inside of the system. Where it gets a little fuzzy is setting up campaigns and stuff like that. So just be wary of that. So if you want campaigns set up, I would go through like the Rainmaker account just to make sure that that's set up the right way. Yeah.
And you said we'll be able to like add pictures and stuff like that into the campaigns and emails.
Yeah. Into smart plans, you mean?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. You'll be able to do all of that as well as in campaigns. So we'll have, so with that new email editor, we're getting a bunch of different templates for like just listed, happy birthday, just so all that different type of stuff that we're going to want inside of there. We'll be able to kind of just keep that going. All right. Does anybody have any other questions I can help you guys with?
Nobody? Well, thank you, Nick. I hope everybody learned a lot. There's a lot coming up for everybody to hopefully use in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, reach out to him on his Calendly if you guys have anything, because he'll sit with you one-on-one if you guys want, and with whatever questions you guys have.
Yeah. And I want to make it clear that I'm not trying to get anybody to just join into Command. I want to help it fit into your business, right? So the way that we want to think about our technology is not to conform your business to our tech, is to help amplify your business by plugging us in, right? Because Keller Williams, we always talk about systems, people, and tools, right? So you got to have the system set up with how you want to do business, and they have the right people in place, and then what tool are we going to use to help get that message out there, right? So the tool is Command, and I can help you use that any way that you guys need. All right. So if you want to use one part of it, not another, I'll help you with whatever you guys need.
I'm sending your Calendly to my marketing girl, so she might be reaching out to ask you some questions, because
sounds good.
I don't mess with any of that stuff.
That sounds great.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, is there
I think
anything
we're
else?
good. Anybody else? No.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you, Nick.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
We'll stay on a couple minutes if anybody else has anything that they want to, talk about untech related.
Mhm.
So what's everybody's thoughts? Was that worth it? Did you guys get a lot out of it?
I got a couple of my questions answered. I had like a whole sheet of questions, so just to get a couple out was nice. So I'm just going to send them a whole bunch later.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's beneficial to set up like just a one-on-one just for you if it's specific questions you guys have for your team?
Yeah, I'll probably do with me and my marketing girl, because she has a lot of questions on her behalf too. So, and she doesn't live in state, so her and I don't get to actually like sit down together and go over it. So it'd be nice to have someone who's like actually knows what they're doing to explain it to both of us so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
And
good.
Nick's had one-on-ones with quite a few of the different teams. And so, and totally happy to help you with that. And so one of the things that will help him set you guys up the way you want to be is, basically write down, this is what you want to be able to do
Okay.
on the system, so he can lead you in the right directions.
Okay. Awesome. Then yeah, we'll probably start getting all that stuff together.
Perfect. What about, Noelle wanted to make sure we had the last couple minutes, if there was anything else that anybody had questions on or wanted to make sure we go over. Is there anything anybody has to talk about?
I don't think so.
Good.
Trish, are you in your new office?
I am.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we're cleaning and organizing and figuring out what we need.
Nice. Well, welcome to the building.
Thank you very much. Yep.
All right. Then I guess thanks you guys for joining us, and we will see you next month.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.